Any questions for Saint Germain? There's a form on our website. I'd love to hear more from him too, but I'm turning over questions to you to ask. SHARON. How to get to 5D, Part 2. Me, let me tell you about my day so far. It's 2 p.m. I'm about to channel Archangel Michael because it's Sunday. I got up at around 11:30 a.m., which is pretty typical. During the night, and this happens to all of us, those dastardly ones who are trying to make humanity on Earth suffer, turn the volume up on mind control between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. Yes, that's right, folks. During your sleep, you're getting a double dosage of nasty mind control. Well, I sure know it in the morning. First thing that happens, since they've attuned my lower mind into their vibration as much as possible, is the critic comes out. You know the critic, don't you? That's the voice within your head that doesn't like anything, hates everything, and has an opinion about it too. Do you know what I do with the critic? I tell it to shut up. Yes. I get up out of bed with a fight going on in my head every morning, but because I realize that voice isn't even mine, it's my lower mind being controlled into thinking that way, I tell it to shut up. I sit, take a deep breath and say, I've been on this road before, critic. I've been down the miserable road you're trying to tempt me into walking again so many times before, and all it leads to misery. So shut up. I don't want to hear from you. It works. Try it. I tend to be a bear in the morning. I've taken to checking my blood sugar, and by taking chromium picolinate, my blood sugar is more in the correct zone these days, and by staying on a low-carb diet. I truly believe that charm trialing, the food we eat and mind control work together to keep us where they want us, miserable and unhappy, and creating the negative reality they want for us, all of which is a precursor to what you see going on today, by the way. Yes. So don't do it. Just refuse. Take your mind back from these evil voices. What evil voices, SHARON? Which ones are you talking about? Yes, there's the critic, that bitchy hate all unloving voice. But there's also the whiner. You know the whiner? You're opening a can of cat food and you cut your finger and it starts to bleed. Your response is, why does this always happen to me? You become angry and then the whole ball of wax opens up. You think about every other time in life that you've felt hard done by, and that to you is proof, life sucks. Don't go there. Don't entertain these thoughts. You know they do you no good. They just make you miserable. Tell them to get lost too. They're only thoughts. Thoughts are energy, but now you're in charge of which thoughts you will entertain in your head. You are in the driver's seat, not your thoughts. You're not a victim of miserable thoughts, you're going to choose the ones you want to have, and this is how to do it. There are other voices like the jealous voice. You see two lovers walking down the street hand in hand, and you think, oh yeah, look at that. The whole world is in love except for me. This voice likes to work in tandem with the whiner, the inner victim voice. Don't give it a platform. Absolutely refuse to listen to these thoughts and tell them to stop, because you're not going to play their game today. I'm telling you, it works. I used to have to be persistent. Now I just say stop it, and it stops. I have more power than these measly voices that are trying to take me off my path. There's the broke voice, the voice of non-abundance. You look in your wallet and yet again, you see no money. You're broke. The fact is, as long as you keep whining about being broke, you will remain that way because you'll keep creating that state for yourself. Mind over matter. Your mind creates your reality. Keep focusing on being broke and you'll be broke. Focus on gratitude for the money you do have, and guess what? You'll get more. Okay, so what do you think instead? You start being grateful. That's easy. You're grateful for the cup of coffee you're making. You see your dishwasher and you're so grateful because you don't have to wash dishes anymore. Your water is running, you have indoor plumbing. The fridge keeps your food cold. You baked bread last night and have fresh bread for breakfast. It doesn't matter. Just be grateful for everything. That keeps those nasty voices from getting a stranglehold on your day. Trust me, it works. So you move into the living room. Ivo is teaching me this trick and it's one the ETS use. Everything you have in your home has to be so beautiful and wonderful to look at that you just sink back in your beautiful couch and say, ah, this is so wonderful. The couch is so comfortable and everything is so lovely to look at. I'm telling you. It works. I have my porch full of dollar store snowflakes I put up and I can watch them through the front window every day, sparkling and shining as they twist in the breeze. It's a small thing I did but so effective. It really lifts my mood just to sit there and watch them. They are really beautiful and they didn't cost me a lot to buy. Beauty doesn't have to be expensive. That's an erroneous belief we hold. In the summer, I had a hanging basket of beautiful flowers there to admire. I decked out the entire porch in seasonal knickknacks with a pagan theme, the sun, fairies, and then I put in a Buddha statue as well. Make sure it's beautiful. Even if all you can afford is 5 decorations for your living room, the room you spend all your time in supposedly, make sure they're gorgeous. Make sure they open your heart up when you see them. I saw an angel figure at the Canadian Tire store the other day that's a bit too expensive for my taste. It's a Christmas angel and it's white, about 3 feet high. I'd like to have it for my living room but for cheaper than $120. So I'll keep checking and wait for it to reduce in price. It's gorgeous and I'd like to have it all year long, never mind just Christmas. Make sure you have beautiful plants with flowers, beautiful curtains, and a decor that feels like you're living in heaven. Seriously. Maybe reduce the clutter and go minimal, but make sure everything lights up your heart. You can't stay in a bad mood when you're in such a lovely environment. I'm realizing that ETS are experts at keeping their vibe up, and this is one of their tactics. Surrounding themselves with beauty. They also have an attitude of gratitude. So I ate breakfast and had my coffee. I put on some beautiful music and sat for a moment, then I decided to go out and shovel the driveway. Why? We have a service that does it. But I figured I wanted to anyway because exerting yourself gives you energy. When you move your body, you move your chi, the energy within your body, and it makes you feel good. The other thing that I do at nighttime when my energy is higher is I dance to music. But to help yourself battle mind control, you need to get off your butt once in a while and exert yourself. If you have fibro, be careful because it could catch up to you if you overdo it, so do it a bit at a time. Don't overexert yourself, although you may want to. Exercise makes you feel good. You don't have to go to the gym. Just go for a walk, do some dancing or shovel some snow. I also had a cry. Yes, that's another way to raise your vibration. I don't like living here. Earth is not a nice place and it does not meet the true needs of really any human, never mind one from a higher dimension, so there is always sadness that I have to deal with. So I just cry. The other thing I do is a deep breathing and chakra meditation by Lane Redmond, which I'll link in below. Grounding, realigning chakras and invigorating yourself with prana in the air, opening your chakras to let in energies from the earth and the sun are always good for me, but I've also found I can lower my blood sugar by a few points if it's too high just by doing this meditation. On top of doing shadow work, many things can be done to raise your vibration. Shadow work has to be done to examine false beliefs that limit you. Because you're already of a 5th dimensional vibration or higher if you're a starseed. Earthlings may not be. So for starseeds it's a question of reconnecting with your soul by removing negative obstacles, like the critic, the whiner, and the jealous one. Look at the 7 deadly sins and don't do any of them. That's actually good advice. How many did I just address in this video? Sloth, laziness, jealousy, wrath, even gluttony. The voice of the critic, that's wrath, anger at others. The voice of the jealous one, jealousy. The voice of the whiner, that's actually indulgence in pride, which is defined as dangerously corrupt selfishness, the putting of one's own desires, urges, wants, and whims before the welfare of other people. Over-focus on self and what one finds lacking in their life rather than focusing on what can be done to help others, regardless of your position in life. You don't think your heart opens if you're focused on what you don't have in life, do you? No. It opens when you are focused on helping others. When I'm triggered, it's hard not to let the whiner or the critic back into the driver's seat, but I'm sorry, you have to resist these things. Sometimes I believe I get overwhelmed and then I do vent, but I always do so with the intention of forgiving in the end and raising my vibration back up again. Sometimes when I'm triggered, I just sit. I feel the feelings and they go away. It's when you repress them or fight feeling them that they can become larger than life. Just sit there. Let the feelings come up and flow through you. Just observe them, don't start saying, yeah, that's true, this is really a reason to blow up. Right now I'm listening to one of my neighbors flying around on the streets on his snowmobile. It's annoying. But you cannot focus on those thoughts. The thing about a neighbor on a snowmobile is that he comes and goes. The sound is not continuous. So you have to learn to focus on the positive part of all of this. He doesn't sit outside your house and rev the engine of his Ski-Doo. If he did, I would go out and ask him to move it. In fact, so that's another positive, you're not stuck with this, There's always something you can do. Sometimes I'd like to take a potato and stuff it up that thing's tailpipe, but I don't allow these thoughts to fester and pollute my mind. Here he comes again. Well, he doesn't do it all day and all night, thank God. At some point, he'll stop. So these are the things you have to focus on, because otherwise you'll feel stuck or trapped. And you know what people do when they feel stuck or trapped? They either whine or they fight. By the way, I will never own a snowmobile. They're too noisy. The other thing you can do with noisy snowmobiles and the like, let them be. Don't react to them. It's easier if the annoyance is transitory. If it's a working crew that has to jackhammer outside your home, you might consider spending a day away or at least shutting the windows. But if it's a momentary annoyance, don't allow yourself to react. Let it be. Yes, it takes training. There's lots you can do to stop being annoyed. It's just you have to try to think of ways to take your mind back from mind control or negative thoughts of the collective. You have to set boundaries for yourself and say, I will not do this. For example, when people attack me, I refuse to fight back. That's a personal boundary I have that raises the bar for me. You don't have to stay sunk in negative thoughts all the time. You can find ways to see the bright side or to just keep your vibe high. If you're in a job you hate, you might want to consider finding something you'd like more, because that is an overwhelming situation. Look where you're overwhelmed and work on reducing the overwhelming feelings of negativity. I've done it. Anyone can do it. I probably have more tricks. If I think of them, I'll do another video on this. SHARON.